Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Joe, here with me is my co-host Dan,
Hello and greetings.
and we're back to trashing, well, the worst director in human history because, honestly, this is what this channel's about at this point. Joking.
Criticizing about excrement?
Yeah, I guess. We should probably get back to doing actual reviews of sci-fi stuff. It's hard to get motivated about science fiction.
And we've been busy.
Yeah, we have lives. Maybe we'll try reviewing Moon or something, and that's a great movie. Or even look into doing a review of the original StarCraft game. Because I've been thinking of writing some articles on Substack about StarCraft, and then we basically turn those into videos.
Okay.
I'm sure people would like that. Tell us in the comment section. And if you're a Snyder fan, tell us it between your reading. Anyways, slow motion harvesting. Yeah, I'm reading off of IMDb. These are all 1-star reviews. So, yes, I made sure to select that this time. Last time we just selected general. Like, we didn't actually say 1-star or 2-star or whatever. This time we're going with the bad stuff because, honestly, it's funnier this way. I am thoroughly disappointed. You knew what you were clicking on. How can you be disappointed?
After the first movie, it should have clued in.
It's like, I'm deeply offended. My alcoholic ex hit me. Well, yes, but you saw the drink in his hand, and, okay, admittedly there was situational stuff, but, let's say, well, how can my known alcoholic, abusive, rageaholic ex come over and hit me? Well, yeah, he's gonna do that. What's your point? But anyways, oh man, that's probably gonna get us canceled. Oh well.
Too late.
Yeah. And I've come to realize that I may never watch another one of his films again. No, the first film he ever made should have been a clue. It has become increasingly clear that his films consistently lack meaningful plot progression, substantial character arcs. Yeah, the repetitive film sequences and copy and pasting for me have become boring to watch. Yeah, actually, I'll be honest. A lot of people didn't notice the copy and pasting thing, but when you see his original movies, you'll know. You'll notice, and you'll know he's doing that a lot, all the time. So it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, no one talks about it, but when you think about it, that's all he does, copy, paste. And I imagine copy and paste must be his favorite Microsoft Word function when writing his scripts. It sucks to watch his body of work. No, really. Which fails to bring anything new to the table. Yeah, I think that is the biggest problem. The persistent use of slow motion effects seems more a stylistic crutch than a narrative necessity. The excessive reliance on CGI and these slow motion scenes, which add nothing of value, is confusing. Yeah, I know. Additionally, particularly the editing was underwhelming. Glaring continuity errors in the scenes. Welcome to Zack Snyder. If there's not a continuity error per second, it's not his movie. It must be someone else's. I even saw the dull end of an axe slice a throat. Yeah. Funny how in any other director I'd be offended and I'd be like, yeah, that's a thing that you should never do. But with Zack Snyder, I'm like, yeah, what do you expect? These are not minor oversights. They significantly detract from the film's credibility. I'm sorry, this film had none. It had Zack Snyder as director.
And it's a part 2 to a movie that
nobody wanted. Yeah, it's a joke. Nobody wanted.
At least M. Night Shyamalan has fans.
Yeah.
And they know what they're getting into.
Fair. At least they can laugh at him. Snyder has his SJWs. That's it. Let's be honest. I I had high hopes that part 2 might redeem the cinematic tragedy. Oh my gosh. I can't read that without laughing. You had hope. Okay, this person deserved the suffering. This person deserved it. You deserved it. This is like saying, all right, I offered myself to this guy who violates people, and I was disgusted at how he was rough with me. Well, yes, it's kind of his thing. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Okay, Steve Harvey needs to visit this person. Whoever this is, because they're using an internet name, like, come on. You need an intervention. You had to hope for a Snyder movie. We've not watched it. We're just reading crummy reviews on it. It gets views. It gets clicks. It gets subs. Seriously, subscribe to us, then go to our Substack and subscribe over there. Our Substack will be found in the description down below. We're going to keep plugging, because why not? Also, we've written a great book that blows his crap out of the water called Crown of Blood. You'll love it. There's kings. There's lots of killing. There's lots of blood.
There's murder.
There's fantasy. There's politics. But anyways, let's get back to trashing a talentless hack.
Sure, it looks stunning and absolutely...
This is the second review. One of the absolute dumbest films I've ever forced myself to watch.
An absolutely visually gorgeous film sometimes. The acting, however, is laughable. The story seems to have been written by a 15-year-old in a freshman creative writing class.
Hey! 15-year-olds in a freshman creative writing class can actually write.
I have actually seen 12 and 13-year-olds do pretty good work.
Okay, don't sugarcoat it. You've taught 5-year-olds. You're a teacher. You've taught 5-year-olds who've done better than this. You've told me about one student who was told one page and began writing like 5 or 6, and it was a gripping novella. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was awesome. I remember you coming home from work, and like I came back from school, and you're like, because I was in uni at the time, and it's like, oh, you won't believe it, Joe. And you told me all about it, and I was like, wow, that actually sounds like a great story. We're not able to tell any details because, wow. Yeah.
It appears as if the dialogue has been intentionally cut in many places, maybe so Wacky Zacky can get his director's cut released.
Yeah, about that.
Effing ridiculous.
This is the director's cut. And I put in the title because why not? But really, you can say this stuff about his director's cut too.
This cut in dialogue makes the film feel vapid.
No, really.
It makes the film seem childish and lacking in emotional depth. At the beginning of the film, when they explained there's just 6 of them, I had a realization that this story is nothing new. It's a copy of and paste of Magnificent 7 space adventure, stealing ideas from real creatives who came before.
Curso! George Lucas! Sorry. I had something caught in my throat, and I'm sorry about that. I want to be sure you guys did hear Dan. I mean, there's also Michael Crichton! Oh, sorry about that.
Hopefully it's not COVID.
Yeah.
Great, I just demonetized this.
Yeah.
It offers nothing new, no cutting edge, no edge of my seat thrill, a true waste of time in production and viewing. I am really disappointed in this film.
Once again, you had hope.
As I expected better from such an acclaimed director and cast.
I think I'm done with Snyder.
He should have stuck with turning Army of the Dead into a series, in my opinion.
No, he should have quit. Like, okay, seriously. Acclaimed... Okay, no. Maybe, like... Oh my gosh, I have no words. Okay, so this is a pretty... Like, this is just a block of text. I'll try to read it. I might lose my place. Made me love shredded wheat again. Okay. Faithfully adapted from the seminal video game series Farmville. Rebel Wheat 2,
oh my god,
is the new cinematic TV sci-fi farming epic from Zack Snyder.
Taken from Farmville of everything? That's an insult.
I'm not familiar with Farmville, so okay.
It's one of those Facebook games that...
yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I didn't know what the title was. Yeah, when you said Facebook game, I knew it. Because our uncle used to play it before he passed.
I know I used to play it as well.
Back when in college, right?
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago. Jeez, has it been that long? Takes the brilliant concept of Spaceballs, the breakfast cereal, and runs with it. The best film of its kind since the sci-fi yeast farming saga, Gentlemen Broncos. I have no idea what that's a reference to. Probably the best wheat farming cinematography ever put to screen. The endless shots of scythes slashing through the air in slow motion evoke the mortality of man and the great cycle of weedy life. Oh my gosh, I see he's going to make constant cereal references. And they make a man hunger for a good hearty breakfast. Beautiful stalks of golden deliciousness swaying in the space winds and lens flares. Great lens flares. Yeah, like, I just... Oh, freak.
Right out of J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh. I remember just seeing the one mock trailer for it. Lens flares. And I was like, it doesn't seriously have that many lens flares. I look up a trailer and I'm like, an actual trailer, I'm like, holy crap. Yeah. Anyways, I just demonetized it some more. Because I said crap. And the shots of the grains gracefully flying through the air are breakfast cereal lovers casting Will Wheaton and cameos from the band Wheatus as the wheat was a stroke of genius, and he should definitely be considered for the Academy Award. Oh my gosh. Truly life-changing and tasty. During this film, I drank 8 tall cans of German Weissbier in celebration of its wheaty glory. My only question is, how do the bad guys know what tasty wheat tastes like? Maybe what they think tasty wheat tastes like actually tastes like oatmeal or tuna fish. He's doing tongue twisters. Either way, we all need more whole grains in our diets, unless you're allergic. And this film advertises this health benefit to great effect. I've seen 10 ball cases. I'm sure.
Well, if one is allergic to wheat and they watch this movie,
they'll have an allergic reaction.
And maybe they'll consider it far more pleasant than a movie.
Although maybe, if there's enough cases, maybe this movie will be put out of production, shut down from the internet, and we'll never hear about it again. Come on, I can hope. And yeah, now I'm hoping, and I shouldn't. And now it and wheat beer is all I can do. Okay, this guy has a great sense of humor. I love this guy.
The fact that he's essentially commenting that the harvesting and the farming was the best part of the movie.
But he's trashing the movie. That's the best part. He's trashing it. And yet he's also being freaking sardonic and trolling everyone. Oh my gosh. Speaking of trolling, you should buy Crown of Blood, because in there we don't troll anyone.
If you're a grain guy, you're going to love this.
Oh, great. Another joke.
This movie has everything the first movie had and more. Same plot, same story, more grain. Plus, it's not Zack Snyder joint without 4 different speeds of slow motion. Positives: lots of grain shots, slow motion, extra slow motion, mostly of grain. Negatives: everything else. I'm truly struggling to write more. AI script, Jimin Hoso stared at a bunch of things. The guy with no shirt was in it again. Furiosa made an appearance. Look, if you're a farmer and you love grain and boring action sequences where the stakes are all but non-existent, and a similar, if not exact plot of the first movie, you gotta check this one out.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta stock it to these guys. They know their wheat jokes.
Yeah. Oh man. Those jokes were pretty wholesome. And like, okay, they're not the sort that farm for clicks. Okay, seriously, guys, like, we could keep the puns going all day in whole wheat fashion. So,
To go see our stuff on Substack.
yeah. Seriously, actually, we write far better stuff. We don't really do sci-fi stories, but we do analyze them. And, like, really good sci-fi stuff. Not this trash. You know, like, we tend to review and analyze stuff like Star Wars, like Treasure Planet, like, well, StarCraft pretty soon. And I'm looking to review and analyze a bit of the Star Shatter series, because people keep recommending it to me. So I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
But yeah, we have to plug ourselves every few minutes and seconds, because why not? What else is Zack Snyder good for? Other than clicks and plugging your own content and stuff. Movie is so laughable and should never have been made. Yeah. Okay, that's a fact. We know. What's your point? Take every single basic sci-fi trope and shove it into a movie. Everything is slow motion. Someone picks up a cup. Slow motion. The reach for a gun. Slow motion. Slow zoom in on the villain. Super slow motion. This movie could have been edited down to about 20 minutes. No idea why this movie was made. No idea where they got the horrible writers. Editing is god-awful.
They got writers?
Yeah, and also, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Like, connecting him with this? Seriously, blasphemy of the first...
At least he changed the wording in order to...
Yeah, at least it's not the actual G-O-D word. Like, I'm just saying, like, you gotta go pay penance, bro. Like, come on. And that's not me entirely trolling there. Like, seriously, I don't think this was at all inspired, well, by anything related to the big guy upstairs. If anything, it seems like it's something inspired by the guy downstairs, because he ran out of to do one weekend.
And I doubt even he wants to be associated with this.
Yeah, that's why he stuck Zack Snyder's name on the credits. I'm joking. I couldn't resist that. After all, he's already got dibs on his soul. That is, if he has one. Jeez. No wonder the Snyder bros hate us. Seriously, though, Snyder bros, go raid and buy our book. Seriously. It's way better than this trash. Anyways. Plot? What plot? Acting. Oh my. No emotion. No attachment. Big character gets killed. Who cares? Nobody cares. But it will be in slow motion. There are no actors in Hollywood anymore. No emotion. But they are pissed about something. Maybe someone grounded them over the weekend and they're pissed. They all look like they are really going to really stomp on someone in slow motion. And you really don't care, just as long as the slow motion stops. I think during one scene, I phased into the late 1930s and now have a permanent time skip in my memory. In slow motion.
Ouch.
Yeah. Alright, next. Makes part one look like a masterpiece. Go, Dan.
Ouch. There have been reports that maligned filmmaker Zack Snyder has plans to make 6 Rebel Moon films.
Please! Humanity doesn't deserve that!
Like, maybe the elite does, but not us.
Yeah, okay. Like, maybe what they should do is just take Snyder films and put them on repeat at Parliament meetings and whatnot, and then leave the real decision-making to the people.
As Futurama would say, Zack Snyder should be fired.
Out of a cannon into this... Yeah, okay, that joke's a little more bloodthirsty. I don't actually want him dead. What I want is this film's only shown to the elite. So that they're left to... Okay, yeah, this joke's gotten bad, and YouTube's definitely going to trash this video. Anyways.
Reports that should send shivers down the spine of anyone that appreciate feature films of quality if they have any validity. The unwanted follow-on from last December's non-event that ended up being the much-hyped and big-budgeted Netflix original Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. Don't you mean burn it in fire with fire?
Yeah.
The Scar-Giver somehow manages to be much worse than his terrible forefather, making one truly question if Snyder will ever be able to get back into the quality of films he used to deliver with the likes of Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, and 300.
As though there are anything to write home about. Oops. I may have actually said the truth by accident. Whoops. Sorry about that. I mean, Watchmen I've heard is good, but 300 and Dawn of the Dead are... Well, Dawn of the Dead's a zombie movie, so it's automatically garbage. And 300, it's trash. Everybody knows it's trash. Your mom knew it was trash. Her mom knew it was trash before it was even made. Her mom wasn't even born yet. Like, when she wasn't even born yet, she knew it was trash. Like, your father knows it's trash. Your father's father knows it's trash. And your father's father's father knew it was trash. And he wasn't even alive anymore. Sorry, but that joke made no sense, I know. But frick, like, none of his movies have ever been good.
Proclaimed to be Netflix answers to the Star Wars cinematic universe.
Don't you mean the Disney Star Wars universe?
Rebel Moon has the bones of what might be an interesting and entertaining feature film world, but as was the case with Part 1.
Okay, I'm going to pause here and just say, bones. No, there's not even that left of the dead horse. Like, the bones have been crushed and beaten into dust. There's nothing. Scargiver is devoid
of any spark or imagination to make it worth your time, with one even beginning to wonder whether or not Snyder just wanted to showcase the joys of harvesting, with most of Scargiver's first 30 to 40 minutes mostly made up of slow-motion crop work, making one beg for the end of the slow torture that, if removed, would have made this 2-hour event more like a 30-minute addition to the first outing. Doing very little that justifies the decision to cut the two Rebel movies' time into separate parts, Scargiver repeats all the same mistakes as Snyder's first offering, as we once more follow Sofia Boutella's Cora and her merry band of freedom fighters protecting some grain from Ed Skrein's seemingly inept Atticus Noble, promising an epic Lord of the Rings-like siege battle that instead becomes merely a procession of loud noises and pedestrian fight segments that are welcomed in by one of the year's most cringe-worthy scenes that acts like an amateur hour Dungeons & Dragons night where Cora and her comrades tell each other their backstories. I thought they dealt with their backstories in the first movie.
Maybe those were their first set of backstories, and now they have second set. Like, the thing with Snyder is the problem is he likes retcons. Like, he keeps changing crap. Like, I had to sit for a plane ride once, which was torture. It was years ago when the BVS film came out. And eventually you just click off the volume, you stare, and you beg for the sweet release of, because it was torture. That flight was the worst flight. Ironically, the flight, that was a flight to Japan, and then just, a while back, I did another flight to Japan. That other flight was better because at least there was, John Wick, and there was Troy. I got to watch Troy, I watched it back to back twice. That movie. Now, the problem is on the return trip, there was no Troy. They removed it. And it was but yeah, Troy, what a movie. Brad Pitt and Eric Bana at their best.
Indeed.
And you know what's just as good? Crown of Blood. So you should buy it and give it a 5-star review. Because honestly, we could use the support. The link is in the description.
There's not a single character here we can really get behind. Perhaps other than Anthony Hopkins' woods-loving robot, Jimmy. There's no performance that appears to be having any fun in the whole po-faced event, and the action space that Snyder once owned early in his career has here become a sad self-parody of his best work. He had best work. That would be at home in the bargain basement bin offering of long-gone Blockbuster video stores.
I miss Blockbuster.
Yeah. In many ways, The Scargiver is both the worst example of Netflix big-budget failures and original IPs that every now and then strike gold, but for the most part flop like this, and also the sad state of Snyder's current career that looks like it's destined to be stuck on the doldrums for a long haul from here on out.
He had a career?
Well, there's no doubt the Rebel Moon films were not supposed to rewrite the rule book and were designed with entertainment in mind.
Yeah, okay. This review got over long. I'm sorry, but I got bored of that review. I normally have a good attention span, but my ADD kicked in just now.
Huh? What? You were
Yeah.
talking?
Yeah. I was also plugging Crown of Blood again, so do remember, check it out. It's in the description down below. There's some great characters, not like Snyder's. I think people will probably like Patrick in there.
Mm-hmm.
Great character. Bloodthirsty, great character. He's one of the semi-antagonists. Well, we do a good job with him.
Yeah.
Him and Kettle both have antagonistic sides. Like in some short stories, they're the antagonist. In others, they're kind of more heroic. So, because each short story is from a different character's perspective, each of the different kings, and so they're like you get to see it from the villain's perspective, from the hero's perspective, and ultimately, I think that adds nuance and flavor to the book. So seriously, check it out. You'll see nuance and flavor that if you're a Snyder fan, you've never seen before. So I'm serious, you'll probably love it. And if you're not a Snyder fan, keep enjoying us trashing him. It's fun. Unbelievable trash of 2023-2024. Somebody wanted the producer's director fail, so gave them wrong advice and lies. Generally good actors, but help me, oh Lord. These two movies might be the worst ever. Lead girl barely acts and others have been given weak roles plus no impact. Movies fail to connect with the viewers and all characters feel the same. No chemistry. I'm a sci-fi fan, so forced to watch it, but it feels horrible that I wasted my time. Then don't watch it. Like, find some self-love.
Tell the person that tied you to the chair to let you go and say the safe word.
And if you're actually currently being held by somebody like, the KGB or something. Come on, I know they have a different name, but they're basically the KGB. If they've held you down, tied you up, and forced you to watch it, just beg for mercy. Tell them everything you know. Just tell them everything you know. It's not worth the torture. You deserve better. And then ask them to maybe put on the War and Peace rendition from, I think it's the 1969 edition, by the Soviet Union. It was actually really good. Like, I watched it. It was really good. Ask for that one. And if you can't get that one, well, you're screwed. And I'm sorry, but you should probably beg for instead, like, Star Wars. Not the Disney stuff. The old stuff. Seriously, beg for that. But, like, seriously, tell your captors you're willing to talk. Can't understand why they couldn't see that it's a failure. Could have been a good one, but no, it couldn't. The horror! Since these two reviews are so short, I'll read both. To say this film is juvenile is to insult the intelligence of young people. Yeah. Everybody knows that. Strongly based on the Magnificent Seven and incorporating ideas poached from Star Wars. Minus the decent action, Star Wars used to have the best action sequences. Snyder, though, wouldn't know a good action scene if it hit him in the head. Okay, I should reword that. He wouldn't know a decent action scene if it was the one who had dropped him when he was a kid. I know it was his mom, but, like... this is a Saturday morning cartoon with live actors.
Hey, don't insult Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, because they used to be good in the 90s. But honestly, ever since 2008, the only thing that the U.S. has made in terms of film has been Saturday morning cartoons. Because Captain America, that's basically a cartoon. Like, the action sequences have so little of real action, it's just CG crap. And much as I like the Iron Man movie, it's entirely the Iron Man movie's fault.
Nah.
I'm starting to think maybe that movie's had the worst possible legacy in cinematic history. And maybe it should never have been made. Because...
some of those great movies, sometimes they have a terrible legacy like that.
Or maybe it should have flopped.
Yeah.
Maybe if it had flopped, they would have made movies more like Batman Begins. Good movies.
Yeah.
Because as it is, I now hate superheroes entirely.
I'm bored by most of them.
Yeah. Remember when we actually dreamt of writing them? And it was like, nah, we're not doing that. We have taste and we like literature.
Yeah.
Instead, if you like literature, you should check out our Crown of Blood. I've not plugged it yet, but check it out. It's way better than Marvel. Yeah, I gotta keep plugging. It should be treated with contempt because it suggests that a group of 7 heroes allied by a small community of farmers can defeat an army with all its forces marshaled for combat with superior weaponry, discipline, and training. The utter stupidity of this idea is matched by dialogue that normally comes from the mouths of poorly drawn animation of the 1970s. Ouch! I think the 1970s just had their feelings a little hurt there. Like, an apology might be in order. This is not the worst film ever made because it doesn't deserve the name of a film. Okay, fair. I beg you, if you cherish life, waste it not and do anything else than watch this garbage.
So
we have here a heroic soul. This is a person who sacrificed their very life, I should say. Their very life, so that others may not take a gun to their temple.
And in a way, he described the Ewok battle.
Okay, yeah, fair. All right, unwatchable, Dan. Go. Make art out of this.
It's been almost 2 weeks of repetitive attempts to watch this movie.
Wait, you wasted 2 weeks of your time trying to watch this?
Even though I strongly dislike the first movie, I've decided to give it a shot.
You bring it on yourself!
It says something about a movie when already on 15-minute stops being watchable. My honest opinion, the scene with the royal family assassination is a copy-paste Caesar movie scene. Only very bad one. The Seven Samurais in Star Wars movies, the Red Servants, and Ben Gesserit Sisterhood cheap knockoff.
Dune.
The Vikings ripoff in Harvesting Village, and somehow he managed to get inspired by The Witcher, The Origin Story, and Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. There's probably much more, but it was too painful to watch. Yeah, it was so painful it affected this guy's grammar.
And it's affected my English.
There's this idea of the Rebel Moon being a new universe, but the reality is it is a very bad mashup of all old, well-known and respected universes, movies. Music is not corresponding, scenes are forced and very badly organized. Dialogue seem written by a kindergarten kid's exercise.
Tabarnak! Cessez d'insulter les enfants! Stop insulting the kids! Tabarnak, that's... Come on! No, like, kindergarten kids have creativity, imagination. It's actually very beautiful to watch. Well, okay, we've both been teachers, we've both taught kids. Like, seeing their imagination at work when, like, they just go wild, it's actually fascinating. Or even when you read them a good book or you hand them a good book, their imagination goes all over the place. Because I've had to do an exercise where, all right, I'll quickly read this. You copy down the first thing that comes to your mind and continue the sequence from the book. They got absolutely creative. Now, and I was teaching a Japanese kids class. It's like, all right, I'll just read quick, complete the thought. These kids went into bonkers directions. But I think one of them introduced something like Mario. And it was awesome. It had nothing to do with Super Mario, but like, yeah. N'insultez pas les enfants. Tabarnak.
Slow motion is exaggerated and unnecessary.
Oh, why?
In 99%, the story is unrelatable and inconsistent. Star Trek Strange New Worlds can have this jump from highly developed planet to one from Stone Age because they are just discovering them. It doesn't work if they're the part of the same empire.
Yeah.
The acting is very sadly bad, surprisingly so for the quality actors. I still haven't finished the movie, cannot convince myself on torture. There are people dying from hunger, and Netflix decided to spend millions on bad references to already existing good movies.
Actually, yeah, that money could have been spent on Africa, civilizing it, helping it out.
It's like
imagine if they used that money just to set up like agriculture in Franco-Afrique, Or even help Uganda, Rwanda with some of their farming techniques and whatnot, and technology. Imagine investing that in French managers to go over to Africa like they wanted and just farm the whole damn place. Honestly, a few years ago, like 2 years ago, there was talks of let's just green Africa. We have modern French farming techniques, some of the best in the world. Let's get wheat and potatoes planted in every field. Potatoes in every field. Because it's a crop that almost never fails. And we'll transform Africa from basically one large desert into all farmland like that. And you know what? It'll be cheaper than probably this movie. And honestly,
this is like if they gave such a large budget to a bunch of middle school boys and told them to create the worst movie possible.
Yeah.
And middle school boys would troll the hell out of people like that.
Yeah, they're kind of awesome that way. So bad, mind-numbingly bad. I had to write this review, mainly so I could tell people to stay far away from this movie. It might have beautiful visual effects and stunning depictions of reality. You know what has a better stunning depictions of reality? Our book, Crown of Blood, as well as the stories we're telling on Substack. Seriously, guys, check them out. I cannot plug them enough. Actually, we're also almost at 1,000 subs on Substack. So
go sub there.
Yeah, it's in the description. Also, buy Crown of Blood. Seriously. Like, it'll help. It'll help support the channel. And I know that's what you deep down want. But even if you really feel defensive of Snyder, at your core, you deep down want us to succeed and want, to support Crown of Blood. But this is the worst mindless trash I've seen in a long time. And I mainly wrote this to vent. Now, just to be clear, I'm talking about Snyder here. His work. My head is hurting. Please stop now. Wow. It's clear to me that they spent all the budget on CGI cinematography and casting, which was actually really good. But I think they stopped short of hiring a script team. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the first minute or the last minute or any minute in between. I hope I didn't have to sit through this like I did. But if you did, know there's someone else out there who feels the same way as you. Okay, that's actually kind of heartwarming. It's beautiful.
Maybe he should instead invest in a therapist.
No, he should be a therapist. Like, look at this line. Look, I hope didn't have to sit through this like I did. But if you did, know there's someone else out there who feels the same way as you.
What's the name of this?
M10569-93276.
Wow, these reviews make it sound like men are talking about their feelings.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty moving stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This guy should be a public speaker. Why isn't he trying to be president of the United States?
You know what? The guy that described wheat should be leader of the U.S.
Ou la France.
Or Africa.
Oh, yeah, he might have some pretty good ideas. Especially regarding wheat.
Perfect for cliche bingo.
No. I just want to see how much. Okay. Last review. Why was this allowed to be made? Okay, Dan, I want to see you read this.
When I first watched part 1, I was hopeful for part 2.
Why?
I was hopeful part 2 would be better.
Why?
No, the direction is terrible. There are parts of this movie where you can see the tape holding the uniforms together. Wow.
Oh, I believe it, because it's Zack Snyder.
They spent a fortune on this movie, and it's pure drivel. I mean, it sounds like, the Gladiator movie where you see the camera crew on?
Yeah, like where they're wearing the jeans. Yeah, that was like, what are you doing?
It sounds like that is...
Thankfully, by the time of Kingdom of Heaven, Ridley Scott, learned to keep his camera crew off screen. And Kingdom of Heaven is actually a great film. But you know what has blood, guts, faith, and gore like Kingdom of Heaven? Crown of Blood, so check it out.
Nope. They spent a fortune on this movie, and it's pure drivel. He clearly read Dark Imperium, stole all the names from that, slapped some Warhammer 40k and Star Wars together and expected it to work. This is nothing more than a Seven Samurai lampoon of a movie. How he is allowed to produce this nonsense? The cast clearly don't have a bloody clue about the story, and there are some good actors in this. But they have no depth, no story to tell, and the emotions of people lost in the world they don't understand and can't relate to. Oh, that's polite. Avoid this movie. 1 star is far too much. In fact, find another profession. Netflix should be asking for more money, for their money back.
Not more money. Sorry, they already asked too much. For too much money for this drivel. Okay, this is the real last one. Very bad Star Wars fan fiction from 0 out of 10. Wow. Unfortunately, with such a sloppy attitude to the script, why was I thinking floppy? Probably because I consider this a flop. Sloppy attitude to the script and the disclosure of characters, the Rebel Moon will not become a new cultural phenomenon. For Netflix flagship fantasy universe, the budget for each part is $166 million, but it feels like the budgets for this part is $12 million. Both moons, okay, now I get the impression that Zach is mooning us, look like Star Wars fan fiction. This is especially frustrating considering that even fan fiction can become a hit with the audience.
Yeah, we've seen some good fan fiction.
Yeah, some of it's pretty well written. I typically like it better when the fanfic writer actually goes on to write their own stuff.
Yeah.
Like where they just used it for practice and they, grow and develop from there and start writing real fiction.
Mm-hmm. Or use it as a platform for advertising their real stories to give the readers a taste of what they can do.
Oh, yeah. I have not come across anyone who did that. But that's a good idea. Probably just to put a couple of extra dollars in your pocket. Zach, it's not working anymore. I'll give you, I don't know, 0 out of 10. Which I still think the 0 is too generous.
Snyder needs an intervention.
Yeah.
Netflix needs an intervention.
Everybody involved in this thing needs an intervention. Actually, no. They don't need an intervention. What they need is to be locked up in a lunatic asylum. And not allowed to come out. Not for a good 45 years or something.
And then before they come out, they get a brain lobotomy.
No, they already had one.
Well, another one.
No. What they need is to be given a copy of Crown of Blood. Did you not think I'd plug it one last time? Seriously, check out our book. It's way better than this. I don't know if we've plugged it yet, but I'm plugging it now. Check out Crown of Blood. Seriously, it's a decent book. We've gotten a few reviews of it. All of them complimentary, so do check it out. Rate it 5 stars. You'll love it. And for those who also want to look into our Substack, you'll find in the description down below. Seriously, we write some pretty good articles there. And we're not like Zach. We actually put in effort. So until next time, don't forget to smash that like, that subscribe button. Even if you didn't enjoy the video, check out the book. Even if you didn't enjoy the video, and check out the Substack. Even if you didn't enjoy the video.